01 Alpha ready to lift and depart.
Cornwall is a beautiful and inspiring place. The stunning, rugged landscape offers endless opportunities for adventure, whilst the picturesque rural nature of our villages, coves and moorland make for a truly spectacular place to live, work and play. But in a place like Cornwall, it can be extremely challenging to get emergency care to people in need fast. That's why the Cornwall Air Ambulance is an essential service. On average, our highly trained crews are on scene within just 12 minutes, bringing life-saving care to seriously ill and injured people when they need it most. Every year, the crew of the Cornwall Air Ambulance are scrambled on around 700 emergency rescue missions, saving countless lives.
We live in Cornwall, and neither of us grew up here, but we've chosen to live here because we enjoy sort of being outdoors, going to the beach.
I connect to a lot of looking after my children, actually. That takes up a lot of my time.
Yeah, I used to play around in the garden, play football and everything around the children. I had a motorbike to go to and fro to work.
I was just at home getting the children breakfast. He wasn't quite one, or he was just one, so he wasn't actually walking at the time.
Started the day off, rode to work on the motorbike and unloaded the container again.
It was a normal day. It was a bank holiday Monday. So Lisa and myself and the children packed up in the car and drove around to Lisa's sister and her brother-in-law. So Lisa went in and stood next to my brother-in-law beside the barbecue. The next thing, a massive explosion happened, and that was the big changing moment, really.
I got up and walked away. I couldn't tell whether I walked 1 foot away, 2 meters, whatever, but I walked away from the skylight, and the next thing I remember, I was waking up and I'd gone backwards through the skylight, 20 feet down onto the concrete base.
And then I heard crying, and I turned around and I noticed that my cup of freshly boiled hot water was lying on the floor, and that Jack was screaming and it was next to him, and at that point I realised something quite bad had happened.
So I turned around and I saw Lisa walking towards me and noticed that she was sort of well on fire. I wasn't sure quite how or why, but I knew it was pretty serious.
And then suddenly the house was just full of paramedics, and they also said they were sending an air ambulance, so in a slightly hysterical, "Look for the helicopter, darling," to Isabel, to try and maintain some kind of order over her as well.
Because I was also injured, and once I'd been looked at, they led me outside to get into the ambulance to go to the hospital. And as soon as I walked outside, I heard the air ambulance overhead, and I could see it flying around. So it was a major relief to see that flying above, because I knew that meant that Lisa had the best chance of survival, really.
I just remember taking my hand out and seeing a mass of blood and everything, and just keeping still. And then the ambulance people came and loaded me on into the back of the ambulance.
Anyway, we ended up in the helicopter. Everyone was amazing. With the sounds of the rotary blades, Jack just went to sleep.
Fortunately, the air ambulance was able to get that far to get to the burns unit at Swansea, where the best care was available to help Lisa.
I heard a voice say, "Oh, Mr. Lawrence, you're awake." She said, "I've never spoken to anybody with your injuries before." And I said, "Why is that? Have they been unconscious?" She said, "No, they've never lived." So
it was remarkable. It was completely remarkable. If he hadn't have been seen so quickly, if we hadn't have got to the hospital and he'd had the operation so quickly, I can't believe he wouldn't. I mean, he's got no scar.
After the accident, I was able to, once I could move my hands again, I was able to email into the Cornwall Air Ambulance to say a big thank you to everybody here for everything they did to enable Lisa to still be here, really. The speed in which they were able to get her to the care that she needed sort of meant that she was able to survive her injuries. In many ways, life is beginning to return back to some sort of normality now, which is great. And the main thing is, our 2 children that are now 2 and 4 years old have got their mum still. So as you can imagine, that's the main thing, and it means a lot to us. A big thank you to everybody here.
He's just a normal, terrible, tantrumy 2-year-old who can be also rather lovely as well. Family life is as it is, just normal. But Cornwall Air Ambulance is in our life now, and we will do all we can to support them.
It was a lifesaver, and because of the air ambulance, I was able to have a life of my children growing up, see them growing up, be with them as well on crutches, and culminating now to the wedding now. My daughter's getting married, and basically because of the air ambulance, I'm going to walk her, hopefully, down the Isle on Saturday. And thank you very much, Cornwall Air Ambulance.
I support Cornwall Air Ambulance. You should too.
I support the Air Ambulance, and you should too.
We support Cornwall Air Ambulance, and you should too.